Welcome to the Q series on the Sixth Suite. I'm Nikki Stone, here with Clare Ravenstreet. And for this special run, we're coming to you straight from Cannes.
Usually, we're unpacking the architecture of business and media, but this week, things are moving fast. We're cutting through the noise of the Croisette to bring you exactly what you need to know.
Every single day, we're dropping a special Cannes wrap-up. Highest signal insights, biggest shifts, and straight talk from the ground.
You won't want to miss a beat. Hit subscribe and follow right now so the latest intel lands directly in your feed every day.
And while we're here celebrating the peak of the industry, we're also dedicating this series to the people who build it. That's why we're proudly raising awareness for NABS, the National Advertising Benevolent Society.
NABS is the vital safety net for Canadian media and advertising professionals, providing everything from financial assistance to mental wellness support when our community needs it most.
We've linked them in the show notes below, so please take a minute to learn more and support their mission.
Welcome to the Sixth Suite with our special edition here at Cannes. And we are rejoined our first return guest, I believe, Nicolette from Vegetable Impressions. So welcome to our Sixth Suite in Cannes.
Thank you. Reporting live. The nice view.
Oh, what a view.
We're on the Adelaide boat. They've been very generous to allow us to record with this gorgeous.
Yeah, they've been our partners, and Adelaide's a leader in attention-based media quality, and Adweek says that their AU score is the most widely recognized.
So we're here obviously in support of NABS.
Yes.
Who have always got our backs and
Yeah.
our six, which we very much appreciate. And we know that
Thanks,
you're
NABS.
obviously a big supporter of NABS. So tell us a bit about what it means to you.
It means that everyone in our industry has an organization that's going to support them through transition. And I think that that's really important because the companies that we work with in the ad industry are sometimes very, very large, sometimes very, very small. And the differences in HR, policies, resources, all really, it spreads the gamut. And I think that having an organization like NABS just makes sure that nobody slips through the crack in our industry.
I super love that. And you're absolutely right. In those pivotal life moments, NABS is the one who's got our six. And I just can't express how much just knowing that sometimes is like the sigh of relief from anxiety to know that you've got someone to always call.
For sure. Okay, so we are here in Cannes. So firstly, what have you found to be the most intelligent thing you've seen or heard here in Cannes?
Well, I'm going to say that Cannes made new categories, and they didn't just make new categories this year. They actually published our pitch deck. So they're finally giving kudos to the engine and not just the paint job. And you can get lucky with a great campaign, but if you build a system, it's inevitable that you're always going to have great campaigns. And I really want to give a shout out to Mike Rumble, the leader of Epitaph, who's always putting strategy first.
To agree with this one. The lean in from contextual intelligence in an emotionally resonating space. We talked about mental health earlier. We talked about having our sixes and stuff like that. But like these are the people who have the kids' sixes. So like massive shout out to Kids Health Phone and just the overall lean in on this campaign because it was all the feels and so thrilled that they were a Lion winner, multiple Lion winner.
Okay, so our second question is around what have you found here at Cannes to be the most contextually relevant?
I think that there's a lot of talk about currency and there's a lot of talk about attention. And I talk about it a lot myself. But it's really hard to get attention when you're in Cannes. Everything's happening so fast. And so I want to talk about another currency, which is ideas. And the best part about Cannes, even though things change year over year, is the people that you meet. Last night I had the pleasure of meeting Gerard from Amazon, who is creating the Amazon Live series and curating contextually relevant segments with popular culture celebrities, influencers, and keeping your finger on the pulse. And to me, what we discussed, I'm going to talk a little bit about our combo last night, which was, it's a philosophy saying where if you have $1 and I have $1 and you give me your $1, I have $2 and you have $0. But if you have an idea and I have an idea, and we exchange ideas, now you have 2 ideas and I have 2 ideas. And so I think that when we talk about contextual, I want to talk about attention as a currency, but I also want to talk about ideas as a currency.
I love ideas as a currency because innovation is my sweet spot, and a good idea you can sit on and ruminate for years until you finally figure out the right context to put it in. And then you watch that thing just go. And it's so beautiful when it happens, but that doesn't happen when we don't share ideas to help inspire each other in order to get there. And that's the beauty of Cannes, because you're right, it is a creative festival.
There's so many intelligent people here, but I also really like that in those conversations, it feels quite like a safe space. Like you suggest maybe a certain brand that you think it might work for, and people are like, "Ooh, that sounds really interesting. What about this?" And then you kind of build on that, and then maybe you jump into a completely different brand or a different context. But there's never like a, "Oh no, that was stupid." Like it's very much always an and it's an addition, and everyone's here with that kind of energy.
And I think that some people are scared to share their ideas because they're afraid of them being copied or anything like this. And it's like, open your chest a little bit, because in the end of the day, ideas make the world go around, and it's all about execution anyway. So be more open.
Yeah, and we spoke about in one of our episodes in terms of like, obviously, for NASA doing their space orbit, is like it takes so many people and so many different types of brains and different types of intelligence to actually get around the moon in this case, or in our case to get something into an execution mode. Like actually it's not about hoarding the ideas, it's about sharing so that you can all come together and build something even bigger.
Well, because winning's not a solo sport. We talk about this a lot. Rising tides raise all ships. But that's the thing, right? And that's the part that we forget, is the reason that rising tides raise all ships is because all the boats are in the water. as we are today. Right? So like if everyone's in the water together and everyone's working together,
Let's do it.
the tide raises everyone.
DOH.
All right.
Last question. What have you found to be the most emotionally resonant? What thing has given you like the chills or made you really like have an emotional reaction here at Cannes?
Well, it's going to be Maddie from IR Code, because he gave me chills 2 years ago, came back, visited him again with you two, and he gave me chills again.
Oh, I mean,
that was definitely a meeting. I think it's kind of fits into the contextual as well, in terms of obviously the product that they've built, being able to pretty much just get more information out of the context that you're in, whether that is the TV deals that they've made or whether that's from an out of home point of view.
Or
festivals. Festival ideas were so cool. Being able to pretty much use the IR code in order to be able to scan what's around you, or in the festivals, the maps, the interactions with partners, and be able to get so much more out of it. And think about how he kind of took data live from what he was doing and immediately switched up his product. So the festivals, they found that no one had internet signal. Obviously, we've all had that. You're trying to be up with your friends. And
as a festival junkie myself.
Such a like ongoing problem. They did one festival, found that no one had the right internet signal in order to actually download the kind of extra content they were giving. So what they did was, based on GPS for the next, literally like a week later, based on GPS, as you're arriving at the festival, your phone pings and it downloads a little packet of the data so that if you're then interacting with it, it's already preloaded.
It was one of the most innovative solutions I have seen. And when you said chills, I was like, I think I might have gasped in that moment.
You did, actually.
I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I love a good solution that came out of an unforeseeable problem that absolutely revolutionizes how we move forward with things. Because if you think even here at Cannes, the number of executions that are in spaces and right, the signal here isn't the greatest and all of those things, that's just here, just because of the infrastructure and the architecture that exists here. But to be able to solve those problems so that the brands can be immersed within that experience, and you can actually measure not from the attention right through to the checkout, like that's my dream stuff right there.
For the consumer, you get so much more out of the experience. It's just such a win-win. The consumer's getting some amazing content, more information that they wanted, or some interaction, some competition, and the brand's getting all of this attention data and all of this even first-party data for them to be able to build into their marketing.
Exactly. And the thing that really gave me the chill moment is when we watched his fantastic sizzle reel. And it was essentially the premise of the whole business is awarding people for attention. They're giving you extra content. They're giving you all these things. And, you know, I love a good Bravo show myself. And I used Google Lens to be like, where did she buy that? Where is this? And so, you know, when you have that consumer's attention, getting them faster to what they're interested in the scalable tech solution is really what gave me chills. But I have to give one more shout out, because there's another gentleman that I met, and his name was Casper. And he basically is the product lead around DV360 for Google. And obviously that was a massive trailblaze to build out this omni-channel DSP. And But now he's unapologetically living his best life and is a Michelin star chef.
Like food is my love language through and through. And if I had always said that if I
Thai
ever was
food,
to,
right?
oh yes,
Nice.
oh, blessed. Like if I would just spend my time taking ridiculous cooking courses all over the world, which is something I actually do with my family when we travel. And that's it. That's what I would like spend my passion doing, is learning to cook so authentically.
And fits so well with Blazer's obviously life advice he gave us yesterday in terms of like reconnecting with your passion and like building from what you used to love when you were a child.
Yeah.
I love that he's built something, obviously made an incredible kind of reputation for himself, but also enough money to be able to then decide to pursue not even just a passion, but like obviously a skill that he has, and be able to build that into his life is just inspirational.
It really was. And I think that emotionally really resonated with me because I feel like we get really stuck in the grind. I think it's important that we continue to find those things that fuel our soul. But I will say that we have been together finding some things fueling our soul this week. We've been doing Take the Floor Club and really strutting our stuff. And the focus of that is to just really elevate her. That's what we want to do. And, you know, we hang out together and we want to inspire each other. And so that's been starting to fuel my soul.
Oh, all right, Nikki. We've asked you this question in the past because you've been in the suite with us before, but of course we're going to ask you again. So not for health, not for wealth, and not for business, but for life. If you had one piece of life advice, what would that be?
Especially coming from Can, protect your mornings. First hour of the day belongs to you and not anyone else. And the first person who gets your attention is usually the so. Focus on you. Give yourself 1 hour every morning. That's solid life advice.
If you pulled value from this quick hit, we want to hear from you.
This entire series is about showing where business is going and dropping life advice genuinely worth sharing. If today's wrap-up gave you a new perspective, send this episode to 3 people you want to see succeed.
And we want to keep the conversation going in the comments, so drop your absolute best piece of life advice below. What's the one rule that you operate by?
Subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you tomorrow for the next Can Dispatch on the 6th Suite.